Hello. Hi, Donna. Hi, Stevie. Nice to see you. Who else is here? What's going on? All right. Are we ready? I am super ready today. I want to ask you if you've had any, were you feeling anything from Tuesday? Because Tuesday was definitely, we did some work, right? So I want to know how you're feeling from Tuesday. So let me know. I made my room really nice and toasty, so I won't be freezing. So if there's anything either of you would like to say or ask, I will say that today, for today's practice, we're definitely going to be a little stronger in the practice. And I think you'll both like that because you're both very strong. So this will be great for you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I felt anything so much from Tuesday, but actually, then I taught 2 classes yesterday, and my whole focus this week has been on balance and improving balance. I had a lot of conversations about balance on Tuesday. So yesterday I did a lot of balance work, and my legs were sore, and it was really interesting because my legs were sore right where my femur bones are. It was so interesting. It was like right on top of the bones. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. Like it just is such a great place to feel that way. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, today definitely we're going to work on some more strength and but of course appropriate as always. I think on Tuesday I really brought up that whole stronger, strongest aspect because that's something to really take into account as well when we're practicing and what we should be doing and what day we should be doing that. Like what should we be doing that day, I guess is what I mean. All right. So if there's not anything, do either one of you have any issues that are going on? Do you have any shoulder issues? I'd like to know that. Hi, Cindy. Good morning. All the strong ladies are here today. So you know what that means. And that is a thing for me, even though I'm not in person with you anymore. That is part of what gauges what type of class I teach is who's there, because I want to make sure that it's safe for everyone and appropriate. No issues. Okay, good. Isn't that great to say that, Donna? I feel that way. I feel like I don't really have any issues in my body, no pain, no issues. And it's really nice to be at that place. So if anyone else is nursing any injuries, I just wanted to know if there was any injuries I needed to take into account. I can't remember what each individual's person, what's going on, but, and I'll try to be specific when we're doing the postures today, because we're going to do some different postures today than we've been doing lately. Postures that came out of Dr. Fishman's second series. So, all right. You watch your shoulders, okay, because you're going to need to watch them today. So that is something. All right. Well, let me go back there then and let's start because I'm kind of excited to do this. Wait. Oh, thanks. I had to put I saw what you said. All right. Well, thanks. Yeah, I hope that's the case though, Cindy. My goal is to instruct to safety. Really, really is my goal is to be able to instruct to keep you safe. That's really important for me. For today's practice, we are going to break the postures up into these 3 categories: strong, stronger, strongest. And that means it could be, first level, second level, third level, if you wanted to give it that kind of attention. But it's really important for you to know which postures we're doing, what level you should be at. So if you do have shoulder issues, some of the shoulder postures, if fully weight bearing your body would be aggravating to a shoulder issue, maybe doing the strongest version of that posture is not appropriate for you. So then you would choose the stronger or the strong version of that. And then also in totality, the practice you're practicing, what level are you practicing for what you have to give, whether that's strength, whether that's today, because maybe you didn't sleep well last night or you did sleep well, so you can give a lot today. So these are all things to take into account when it comes to determining the right appropriate level of practice for yourself. And yes, we are creating strong bone building stimulation. The utmost important thing is that you stay safe when you're doing that, because there is the opportunity for injury when you start to weight bear in your joints and pull and push on the bones and the tissues in the way that we do, especially in a yoga for osteoporosis class. So really important to gauge where you are, check your ego at the door is what I'd like to say. And it is something that comes with us as we bring, I can do this, we barrel through things. And so we just want to really be careful and do what's appropriate. So I noticed that my lights are off. 2 of my lights are not on. Try to get all the light source I can get. All right. I don't know if that made it more light for you guys. Okay. So today's practice, as usual, do what you can or would like to do. We're going to focus a lot on spinal strengthening today. So whether that's through back bending or a lot of lateral side strengthening. And when we strengthen the side of our body, that strengthens the spine. And it's an area we don't focus on often enough. And as someone with major hip issues, it was learning about the side of my body and keeping it strong that helped me get over my injuries or heal from surgeries and then be as strong as I feel that I am today. So listening to your body, my voice is what you hear, but what you listen to the most is the internal part of you that is guiding you on what's appropriate and not. So because today's practice is going to focus a lot on spinal health, let's begin with the deepest opening you could find in your spine. And that's going to be determined by the props that you have access to. So if you have egg block, get that. The women who work with me, it's typically one of the things I give as a gift is the egg block. So a lot of people actually have those, or people who practice with me before have purchased these themselves. I think they're fantastic for rolling out the head and neck, fantastic for creating that deep extension curve in the spine. You could also use 2 blocks, put 1 block here, 1 block there, or you could use a block and a blanket, block behind your heart, blanket behind your head. And if nothing else, you could roll up your blanket into a roll or a foam roller or something and come to rest on that. Whatever it is that's going to support your spine in this back bend shape, that's what we're going for. So get whatever props you need for that, for your opener. And then for the rest of the practice, we're going to need a strap and a block and a blanket. So those are 3 must-have props that'll be helpful. And then actually for today's practice, because we are going to do some of the side body strengthening, having a wall. So I'm here up against a door. I'm going to use this. If you're near a sofa, even the back of the sofa would be great, or a wall. So if you could put your visual so that it turns towards where you could be up against a wall practicing, that actually would be really helpful for today's practice, is to have a wall. So arrange yourself if you need to. And then let's come into the first posture. The first posture, this supported spinal extension, is to arrive and to develop that deep body awareness so that you can actually listen to what's happening inside and keep yourself safe. So very important to be safe when you're practicing yoga, and especially if you have osteoporosis. And this is a yoga for osteoporosis class. So you're going to come down onto your prop, whatever that is, and set yourself up in the way that you need to be, so that you could come into the biggest stretch possible right away. Or if you need to take a little time, take a little time. So depending on your body, your level of practice, you may need to enter this slowly. Knees bent, feet are flat. That'll keep the low back happy and keep the low back with less tension or less involvement in this. And then the eyes are closed, bringing yourself onto the ground, grounding your mental energy, arriving. Let your awareness go up and down your body. So feeling and noticing what you notice. Breathing in and out through the nose. Bring your awareness to where you feel tension. And with each exhale, let your awareness go there and start to relax and soften the area that you feel tension. Keep breathing. See if you can go a little deeper, maybe stretching your arms a little wider or a little higher. So once you're able to release some tension, soften some tension, see if you could introduce a little more stretch where the chest is, the arms. And bring your awareness to your chest as you breathe in. Expand your chest. Feel the expansion. Feel the stretch. Stretch your ribs. Stretch the muscles in between your ribs. Let's start working on an extended exhale. So I'll do a count of 4 and 8, 4 on the inhale, 8 on the exhale. And then you'll breathe on your own, maybe 5 on the inhale, 10 on the exhale, and see what's appropriate for you. It takes time sometimes to work up to that extended exhale. So take a breath to clear, exhale, and inhale. One more big exhale. Mouth is closed, breathing in through your nose. Let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Continue on your own. If the 5, 10 works, try that. If it's too much, go to the 4, 8, or maybe even a 3, 6.
trying to double your exhale to your inhale. Extending the exhale stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, setting your biochemistry up for the building zone. So as we create the stimulation in the practice today, you could build stronger bones. Stay with your breath. Finish the breath you're on and take 2 more rounds. When you finish your last breath, let your body breathe itself. With the eyes closed, stretch your arms even wider if you can. Longer, taller if you can. If you'd like, you could take this next minute to move your body in whatever way feels appropriate. For some of you, straightening the legs may work. For others, keeping the knees bent is better for the low back. Stretching the arms overhead if you're able to. Whatever your body has, do what's appropriate for you. Some maybe there's low back issues or shoulder issues. You may have limitations. Take a minute with your eyes closed to explore movement and to explore flexibility. So move into a place where you feel a stretch. You could try clasping your hands overhead, turning the palms towards the wall behind you, adding a little rotation into your arms. Then take another breath. If your knees are not bent, bend your knees, put your feet flat. And then roll off onto your side. Come onto your side. Let your spine settle here. And then opening up your eyes, take your hand on the floor in front of you, spread your hand, spread your elbow, put your hand down, and then push away from the ground to come up. Noticing how you feel. The extended breath actually is you taking control of your diaphragm, which normally on the exhale is an involuntary movement. So focusing on that extended exhale actually stimulates parasympathetic, putting us into the zone
of relaxation and building. And that's important to enter your practice like that. Okay, are you ready to go out? I think I need to put this guy out, otherwise he will bother me. Come here. All right. Okay, so let's begin the practice. Take your strap and block off to the side. You need the blanket for the first part of this. Coming on to the blanket. Let's come pretty far back. So you're on the back edge of your mat. Your back edge of your mat. Take your hands forward, really far forward, and start to push yourself side to side in your body, so that you actually use your rib cage to push side to side. Keep your head lifted so you're not doing any extra pressure on the cervical spine. Move yourself side to side, and then move yourself front and back. Keep your head lifted here, front and back, rolling around in your shoulders and your hips, creating some secretions. See how you're feeling. And then make sure your hands are pretty far forward so that when you do go back, your arms are still straight. Hands are wide, put your thumbs on the mat, fingers are off. Then you're going to inhale to come forward, let your pelvis come closer to the floor, exhale back. So if you could bend really deep in your hip and your spine feels okay bending, you may go pretty far. And if not, you may be within some place coming forward and moving back. Loading up and challenging the shoulders a little or a lot, only according to what works for your body. And we are rolling through that joint. So pay attention to how it feels, really stretching the deep belly, right where the low ribs and the pelvis are. And then bring yourself back to center. Bring yourself up. Come all the way up. Let's come forward. Come onto your shins. Take your hands down alongside your body. Exhale, and then inhale to reach up. Look up. Exhale down. So be pretty stretchy with this. Hands are active. You're really stretching your body. Feel that stretch coming into the belly. Hands are up. Bring one hand down, one hand up. Stretch the side of the body. Even look a little towards that arm. So the arm is far back. Stretching the side of your body. Really push into the leg of the arm that's down. Push into that leg. Push your belly button to your spine. And then bring yourself up. Let's come to the other side. Bring the hand up. Turn your gaze. Try to push the hand back a little. So there's a little rotation coming into the body. Make sure that feels appropriate for you. And then press that leg down. Reach up with that hand. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. Bring yourself out. Shake your hands. We're going to do a little to warm up the upper body. Take your hands, inhale forward. Exhale to hug yourself. Start down pretty low with your arms. And then start to come a little higher if you can. And bend your elbows. And let your chest open. Slide the shoulder blades towards the heart. We inhale when the arms are open. We exhale when they close. And then come open, stay here. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other, heart is up. Head is slightly angled up, and the body, upper back has to manage the weight of the head, tilting towards the back. So notice that tension in the upper back and neck. Inhale. And then exhale. Take your hands, clasp your hands behind your head. Hands are clasped behind the head, thumbs are down the neck. Take your hands like this, like you're holding the head and you're adding a little traction to your neck. Elbows are pressing to the side. Inhale, and then come back up to center. Slow movement. Stretching the side of your body. Maybe you feel your neck stretch. And then bring yourself back to center. So I'm feeling a lot of tension in my upper back and neck because this is a lot of work. It can be a lot of work. So try to make everything you're doing, especially this warming up when we're doing it, try to still make that be a part of the opportunity to strengthen muscles or increase flexibility or range of motion. Take your hands, move your fingers around. So let's do a little to warm up those rotational muscles of the trunk. Let's take your hand on a block. So bring your block forward and then bring your block maybe so that the block has tallest, next tallest, shortest. So you're going to decide where you need to be in this. So take your block forward. Block is underneath one hand. Exhale, and then inhale to rotate open and exhale back. Inhale, exhale. One more. And then bring yourself out. Let's go to the other side. Hand on the block, other hand on the ground. Inhale, open, and exhale back. So really stretching that middle back area, right around the lower ribs. One more. And then bring yourself down. Let's go back to the other side. Take one hand behind your head. Exhale. Lead with the elbow. Inhale with the elbow. Bring that stretch a little higher if you can. Keep your head lifted. So push your head into your hand. Lead with the elbow. One more. Let's go to the other side. Hand behind your head. Inhale to open. Exhale back. One more. And then bring yourself back. Bring yourself up, bring yourself out. We're going to do a little shoulder stretching, shoulder movement. So you're going to need your block and your strap for this. Now, if you're able to bend your knees, if you put your block right here between your heels and sit on your block, that could be nice. Or you could even try to put the block in between the tushy and the heels, or even on the legs, if that feels appropriate, somewhere where you have the block to balance. So try that. And if that doesn't work, then sit in a crisscross leg position or be in a chair for this. So get yourself situated, have your blanket underneath you and have your strap right beside you. So let's take the arms to the side. Inhale, arms are up, exhale down. Keep your elbows back here, up and down. Now bring your arms down, inhale, arms out and forward. So we're warming up that shoulder joint, doing a little internal, external rotation. And because we are going to do a lot with the shoulders, or the shoulders are going to be involved in what we're doing, we want to make sure that they're lubricated and that you have a nice shoulder alignment before we start bringing some weight into the shoulders. Stay here. Inhale out, exhale, elbows back. Imagine you're on a wall behind you. You're sliding the back of your hands on that wall. So keep your hands really far back when you do this. Shoulder blades are sliding on the back of your body, sliding out and then towards each other. So activating those upper back muscles for posture, for alignment. Feel this in your back. Lift your heart. Keep your arms up when you come up. Let's do rotator cuff. Bring your hands down and bring your hands up. One more. Bring your hands on top of your shoulders. Inhale your shoulders out. Bring them down. Bring them towards each other. Start to let your head follow. Up and around. Out, down. Let the chin come down to the chest. Shoulders together or elbows together. Up and around. Chin to chest. Inhale up. Out. Chin to chest. Make the biggest circles that you could make. One more. And then bring yourself back to center. Bring your awareness to your ears. Let the ear go straight up towards the sky and stretch that neck. So push your ear up towards the sky. Push that side shoulder down. Slide your elbows underneath your shoulders so you have nice alignment here. Come back to center. The other ear tip goes straight up towards the sky. That shoulder goes down. Feel that stretch on that side, stretching your neck muscles. One more each side. This is lateral. This is not a natural movement for our neck. So it feels pretty good to do this, and it can take tension out of the neck. Come back to center. Chin parallel towards the ground. Look over, inhale. Exhale back to center. Inhale, exhale back to center. One more. Teeth together. Inhale. As you exhale, chin goes straight down to the chest. Only move the neck spine, not the thoracic. Keep the elbows in at the waist. Teeth together. Inhale, chin goes straight up towards the sky. Let it be your chin that leads the way. Feel the stretch on the front of the neck. Exhale. Inhale. Bring yourself back to center, back to neutral. So that little neck series there, those are the 6 movements of the spine that helps to release tension. So let's do some postures. Take your block and strap off to the side. So the first posture we're going to do is probably one of the hardest yoga postures that I do, because it's hardest for me, and it's side body. It's called Vasisthasana side plank. And the variations are, you could do this, which is kind of a variation of this for stronger, if you needed to have your leg down. So this would be strong. So this is a strong version, as in the first level, level 1.
Level 2 would be once we're in the posture, you bring a foot forward and put a foot in front of you. That's level 2. Level 3, full expression, is like this. We hold it for 30 seconds. It's the hardest posture. I think it's tremendous for hip health, for spinal health, for shoulder health. The important thing is that you're lateral, that your shoulder blade is on your back, that your heart is reaching forward when you come into this. Stay as little or as long as you can. Being near a wall is tremendously supportive because there's also a balance aspect here, and for that stability aspect to minimize injury, it's really great to have a wall. So get whatever you need to get. You could be near a back of a chair, back of a sofa, and then we're going to come onto all fours. Take one foot back and then the other. Have your feet touching. And then you're going to lift your pelvis up and roll onto the outside edge of your pinky toe edge. From here, you decide, what do you need to do? Long spine, heart forward. Push your fingertips into the ground. Reach up tall. Push away from the ground with the pinky toe edge. Deep breaths. One more breath. Bring yourself down. Let's go to the other side. Hands are on the ground. Knees are on the ground. You take one foot back. Feet are going to be close to each other, close together. Take the other foot back. To come onto this, you lift your body up. Bring yourself into side plank. Use your wall. You can either have your body touching or just the hand that's in the air. Push away from the ground with the hands. Push away with the pinky toe edge. Long spine, heart forward. Really push the pinky toe edge like crazy to activate the hip, the muscles of the hip. One more breath. And then bring yourself down. Bring yourself out. Let's pause, catch our breath. Whether you're kneeling or seated, close your eyes. Breathe down to your pelvis. And then blink your eyes open. So that is one of the most physically demanding postures for me, side plank. The next posture we're going to come into is plank, and it'll make plank seem pretty easy compared to that. And also the fact that we're doing one after the other, it's good to really work on strength. So if you need to come down onto your forearms because your wrists aren't happy, you could do that, coming down into your forearms. And then there's a modification of having the lower legs on the ground. Put your hands on the floor in front of you, underneath your shoulders. Point your fingers are forward. Bring one foot back and then the other. If you need to do any variations where you have the knees down and the shins, do that, or be in the forearm version. Bring your awareness to your hands. Really push all 10 fingers into the floor a lot. Distribute the weight that's in the hands. And then push your feet into the floor. Bring your awareness to your right foot. All the toes are bending. Press through that center of the right heel. Press the left toes into the ground and press through the center of the left heel. And now strongly press through both heels. Press your feet into the floor and try to drag your feet up towards your hands. Keep your spine long, head lifted. Don't let your head hang here. Strong body. Really push away from the floor like crazy. with your hands and your feet. And then bring yourself down. Pausing in between, catching your breath. Close your eyes in whatever is a comfortable position for you. Catch your breath. Blink your eyes open. In the practice of yoga, we move back and forth between effort and ease, knowing that you have that moment to take a break after you come out of that intensity of really showing up and giving your all. The more you give, the stronger that posture is, the more you're going to develop stronger muscles, stronger bones, stronger joints. And that's what we want. So allow yourself to have the time after where you catch your breath and you relax. Let's go into the next posture that was placed in the second series by Dr. Fishman. And this is actually not really a posture. We're going to twist our wrists and pull on the wrist bones and strengthen our wrists. So either a block between your heels to sit on, or sit in crisscross position, or whatever you need to be in a seated position to do this. So we're going to strongly rotate the wrists and pull on the wrist bones because that's part of what strengthens them. So take your hands, move your hands, look at your fingers, open and close your hands, and then take your wrists and move your wrists in one direction and then in the other. Bring an arm across your body, push the hand towards your body, feel that stretch on the top of your wrist, and then flip it and push through the heel of the hand. Keep the arm straight, do the same thing on the other side. Bend the hand back, and then push through. So take your shoulders forward, up, back, and down, forward, up, back, and down. Posture plays a significant role in our bone health. And I was asked what my number one thing is I would share, that I think is the most important thing that we need to be aware of for bone health. And it really is posture. Posture and spinal alignment, and making sure you maintain the lengthened natural curve or extension in the thoracic spine and not that rounded posture. So sit, shoulders are forward, back, up, and down. Stay here. Bring your arms out. Turn the backs of the hands towards each other. Thumbs are down. Long neck. Take the right wrist over the left wrist and clasp your hands. Lower your shoulders. Start to bring your hands down, around, and up. Feel that tension in the right wrist. Elbows are out to the side. Push the hands away from the body. Create as much appropriate tension as you can in that wrist joint. So feel the pull. Try to point your knuckles up towards the sky. Arms are not resting in your body. Elbows are separating. And then maybe lower your hands. See how that increases the intensity. Finding the sweet spot for you to have the right amount of sensation in your wrist. And then let's unwind. Noticing that tension in the right wrist. Let's do the other side. Backs of the hands are together, thumbs are down. Left wrist is on top of right. Clasp your hands, lower your shoulders. Down, through, and up. Lower your hands. Try to point your knuckles up towards the sky. Elbows separate, hands move away, moving down if that's available. One more breath. And then bring your hands out. Shake your hands. Let's take the strap, do a little stretch after that shoulder series. Make sure that your body feels okay. Take the strap overhead. Reach the strap up and towards the back if you can. Stretching your chest, stretching your shoulders. Take one more breath. Then bring yourself out of that. So let's move on to the next posture. Take your blanket, fold your blanket in two, and then if you happen to be on the tighter side or you know that you have a lot of roundness in your spine, fold it again so you could be even more elevated. Get your strap, get your block, bring yourself onto your blanket. This next posture we're going to do is called Dandasana, staff posture. It's a posture for posture. So these are postures that we put ourselves in because what we're doing is we're actually finding an alignment and then staying in it or trying to perfect it when we're in it. So these are called postures, not poses. And so this is a posture for developing better posture. Let's reach underneath, grab a hunk of flesh so that you expose your sits bones. So you really feel that you're sitting on your bones. And then take your block, bring your block between your legs and take your strap. Now this is a 10-foot strap that I have, so hopefully your straps work as well. I don't want you to bend your spine to get to your toes. You could actually try to lasso your toes with a nice straight back, natural curved back. And then look at your feet so that your heels are in the ground, soles of the feet are facing away from you. Your strap is in the arches, and then slide your hands back so your elbows come underneath your shoulders. Squeeze the block, push the block down, and sit nice and tall, and you're growing right out of your pelvis. So this is a 90-degree hip flexion. And deep hip flexion is what we need for bending safely, for being able to do the postures for the hip joint to create a lot of stimulation there. So stay here if you need, and if you want a little more challenge, you could bring your arms off to the side, maintaining that L shape of your body. Push your legs down, and that'll help you lift up in your spine. If your arms are up, have them up and back so you can't not see them. When you're looking forward, you don't see them in your peripheral view. Take one more breath. To come out, come into a wide leg stance. That will give maybe a little relaxation for some of you. For others, it may bring up the need for stretching your legs a little more because maybe you're feeling tightness in the adductors or even in the hamstring muscle group. So noticing what you notice here, it might be a little bit more of a diagnostic posture for you. The other option, if this is too intense, would be Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together and stretching the inner thighs like this and the hips. So come into the wide leg stance if you can. Come into Baddha Konasana if you need that. And then for those of you that are in the wide leg, bring yourself now into this Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Hold on to the lower leg bones, have a nice tall spine. Looking forward, tall spine, try to get that really nice posture in your spine here. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself all the way out. So pause. The next posture we're going to come to is camel. And I'll do this with quite a few props. You decide what you need to do or want to do. There's many variations to postures. Props actually help us push or pull and activate muscles that are supportive. So I like to use them often. I think they're great to use for safety. So with the camel posture, this is a posture of a back bend. So I'm going to use the block between my heels. The activation here to help you would be the glute. So the glute muscles, turning the glute muscles on, softening the rest of your muscles. So soften hamstrings, soften quadriceps, soften hip flexors. Only use the tushy if you need to help you get more of a back bend come into your body. Hand position, you could clasp your hands behind, you could hold on to your elbows, or you could use your strap, put your hands in your strap behind you, and let that help to get that stretch that you need in the upper body. So I'm actually going to use the block and the strap. You decide what you'd like to use. Those are all the variations. So come up onto your shins. Make sure your knees are underneath you for stability. Your knees and your shins, they're not too wide. And then squeeze your tushy cheeks. So really squeeze your tushy cheeks like you feel like you're squeezing towards center, and then try to soften the other muscles. Maybe even seeing if they're soft. Not always easy to do that, especially when you're up here holding yourself in this position. Bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Squeeze the tushy cheeks, point the tailbone down, and then let's enter this camel. Reach your hands down and back. Bring the biggest back bend you could bring to your upper spine. This is not about the head going back, so don't let your head go back. This is about creating a rainbow shape in your upper spine. Use your props to help you. You could squeeze your block, squeeze your tushy, lengthen your spine, and bend your spine. Reach your hands down and back. Take one more breath. And then slowly bringing yourself out. Take your strap off to the side. Come on to a seated position, a rest position. Catch your breath. Notice how you feel. Close your eyes. And then open your eyes. So we're going to come to a standing position. So bring your props off to the side. Make sure your is fall free. Nothing that's going to get in your way and trip you up. Bring a foot forward, flip the back toes under. Bring yourself forward and bring yourself up. From here, you're going to clear your space. Let's take the props off to the side. And then a chair if you need it, or a block and a wall. So you decide, you use the chair if you need the chair, or a block and a wall. The wall is really great because it really helps with the whole balance aspect. So go ahead and get what you need. So let's do the first standing posture, which is mountain, posture of alignment. You could have the big toes touch or have the big toes be about 2 inches apart. Heels are farther apart than the toes, because the shape of the body, the shape of the legs come up and angle in at the hip, and then they angle down. So that's this shape. It's almost like a triangle, like a miniature triangle, where this is the wider part and the feet base is the more narrow tip of the triangle. Take your hands down, palms are reaching down. This is an active posture. You're not just hanging out here. Push your feet into the ground, push your toes into the ground on both sides, push both heels in, one and then the other. Push the top thighs back, activate the pubic bone at the base of your pelvis and activate that up, lift that up towards your belly button. So feel that core support and stability. Reach down with your hands, Down with the hands, down with the feet. Now long with your spine. Get tall again, like you were when you were 18. Press the back of the head back, chin parallel towards the ground. Very active here. For those of you that are ready for a little more, either one eye or both eyes could close. Feeling that balance in your joints, stacking the joints, feet, ankles, knees, hips, pelvis, spine, head. The shoulder girdle is resting on all of that. Take one more breath. From here, we're going to move into chair. So keep your feet where they are. Start to push your tushy back. Keep your head lifted. Start to bring low belly to top thighs. Low belly is coming closer to top thighs. Head is lifted. Push your tushy back. Your tushy went back. Your head went forward. Hands are back. So go a little deeper, little deeper, little deeper. Lift your toes off so that you're in your heels. Bend your hip joint a little more if you can. And then from here, lift your arms straight forward and up. And see if you could lift your torso up a little more without moving the lower body. Look forward and up, beyond your eye level. If balance is an issue, you could have your toes down or put the big toe down. There's more reception in the big toe because it's a bigger toe. Bend a little deeper if you can. Lift your heart, long neck. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to mountain. Rest. Breathe down to your feet. So we're going to add a balance posture here from mountain, keeping your feet where they are. Look down. Big toes are about 2 inches apart. Hands are reaching down. We're going to do tree posture here. So move yourself over to one foot. Bend your knee out to the side. Bring the foot up in between the ankle and the knee. Find a focal point to stare at and hone in on that focal point. The eyes are a part of balance, so let your eyes fixate on something that doesn't move. Breathe down to your foot. Take one more breath. Bring your knee forward, bring your foot down into mountain. Reach down, align your joints. Move yourself to the other side. Bend the knee out to the side. Bring the foot up in between the ankle and the knee. Push down with your foot, long with your spine. Find your focal point. Take one more breath. Bring your knee back. Bring yourself out. Reach down with your hands. Push your feet into the ground. And then relax. Shake your limbs. So I'm going to get a chair for these next two. You could do it without a chair. You can near the wall. I'm going to get a chair for these. So the next posture we're going to do is warrior one. So a chair or no chair. Let's have the foot near the chair come forward. So the foot near the chair comes forward and the back foot moves away. The back foot is slightly angled in. So don't let the back foot be pointing straight ahead. Let it be angled in and let the back foot be very active. So feel the stretch over the ankle as you make that firm foundation on the pinky toe edge. Front foot is forward. Toes are pointing forward. So the thing with warrior one, there's a lot of tension placed on the hips here, because if we have a heart light here, these are heart lights like flashlights, heart lights, and hip lights. So when we come into this warrior, we're trying to rotate the trunk in this forward direction, and we have that back leg back, so there's a limitation here in the hip. So there's a lot of pressure here in the hip when we come into the warrior one. So pay attention to how this feels in your body when you're bringing this rotation into your body. Bring one hand onto the chair, bring the other hand down, take an inhale, exhale, and then inhale, push the front heel into the ground, bring yourself down, come into the warrior one, and then bring yourself out. So make sure that this lengthening coming into your body feels appropriate. The deeper you bend the front knee, the more stronger you make this posture. Push away from the back foot, bring yourself down into whatever is appropriate range of motion for you to hold for 30 seconds. Push your front heel into the ground, bend the front leg, lift your spine, add a slight back bend, hands up or hands together at the chest, whatever's appropriate for you. Hip bone stimulation, pelvic bone stimulation, femur bone stimulation, stronger muscles, stronger bones. Do what's appropriate for you. Push away from the back foot, activate that back pinky toe edge, push that front heel into the ground, really strengthening that front glute, stretching the belly, taking sitting out of your body. Take one more breath. Unbend that front leg. Bring yourself out. You could turn away from the chair. And let's go to the other side. Foot forward, foot back. Wider stance a little easier, closer stance a little harder. So do what's appropriate for you. That's what makes these postures strong, stronger, and strongest, is where you place your feet and how deeply you bend your joints is what determines that. Take one hand down alongside your body, one hand on the chair. Exhale, and then inhale to come forward. Exhale back. Inhale. One more, come forward and stay. Stay here. Push that back leg back. Bring both hands up, really pushing through that back heel, back pinky toe edge, bending that front leg, and push that front heel into the ground to activate that front glute. Long spine, back bend. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. Bring yourself out. Coming back to Tadasana, mountain posture, to rest and to find alignment again. Breathe down to your feet. So let's move on to a balanced posture, Ardha Chandrasana. So with Ardha Chandrasana, being near a wall is the best. Ardha Chandrasana is a side balance posture. You could do this with a block. You could do this with a chair. You could do this near the wall. So choose what's appropriate for you. We're going to load on the side of the hip joint. We open up and we turn our hip lights forward. rolling into the side of that hip, and then weight bearing there, creating a lot of hip bone stimulation, pelvic bone stimulation. Really great for hips here. So take your block on the floor or your chair, whatever it is you're going to do. And then bring your hand onto the block. Toes are pointing in the direction of your active. And then start to turn your body forward. Turn the toes forward and lift the leg as high as you can. Keep your arm on your waist, elbow back. Then if you're able to lift your arm up, lift your arm up. Lift that leg. Don't let the leg fall that's in the air. Active. Flexed foot. Reach through that heel. Take one more breath. To come out, bend the knee you're standing on. Keep your head lifted and start to lower yourself out of the posture. Go slow when you bring yourself up. Let your blood vessels calibrate. And then let's go to the other side. Chair or block, whatever it is you're using. Block is on the ground. Foot faces the block, so the toes are pointing in the same direction of the block of the chair. Loading onto that front hip. So load into the front hip. And then start to bring your leg up, active. Hand on your waist, elbow back, or come into that straight arm if that's available to you. Straight legs if you can. And if there's a slight bend in the standing leg, that's okay. Really flex the foot of the lifted leg and reach through the heel of the lifted leg. Turn your hip lights forward and your heart light forward. Keep that leg lifted, reach through that heel. One more breath. And then bend the standing leg, dismount gracefully. Bring yourself up, find mountain. Let's take some of that tension out of the body. Let's get rid of the mental tension and leave the physical. So let's get rid of the bad stress of whatever came up. I'm not strong, my balance is terrible, just whatever came up for you in the practice. Let's get rid of that. And let's keep the stimulation inside, the stress inside for bone building that we just did throughout this practice. So we're going to do a little release. We're going to grab, hold, and release. On the inhale and grab that tension. Hold and exhale. Really long exhale. Inhale. Hold. One more. Hold. Let's bring all that down onto the ground. Final Shavasana. Your choice. I may do legs up the chair today. Get all your props, everything you need to bring yourself into the deepest place of relaxation for your Shavasana. So whatever it is you're doing, bring yourself down onto the ground. If you do your legs up the chair, it's your whole leg needs to be supported. So from the back of the knees or the back of the legs, that's what's touching the chair. So get yourself in the position you need to be in for that to be the case. If you need to bring your knees into your chest or legs in the air, do whatever you need to do. Or you could come into a fully outstretched position, hands and legs nice and long, long neck. Mouth is closed, focusing on your breath, relaxing. If you'd like to do an extended exhale breath, you could count, double the exhale. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Draw your knees into your chest. Bring yourself onto your side. Pushing away from the ground, bringing yourself up to seated. Close your eyes. Let your hands rest on your thighs. And then bring your hands together at your heart. Elbows are along the side of your body. And let your awareness go into your body to feel and to notice what you notice about today's practice. Was it appropriate? Do you have any sensations left over from any of the postures? Or was it an appropriate level practice for you today? Let's close with sound, humming, relaxing, settling. Mouth is closed. Take a big exhale. Inhale. We bow in gratitude for this practice, this wisdom, this opportunity, this moment, what we're able to do for ourselves, this act of self-care, self-love. Thank you. Namaste.
So it's really important that as you create this strong stimulation, you do it appropriately. So always checking in with yourself. Make your practice enjoyable so that, yes, you have those intense times where you're really pulling and pushing on bones and muscles and tissues and demanding a lot from your body, because that is what keeps us strong forever. The more we ask for, the more we get. And we need to use it so we don't lose it. Yet we want this to be enjoyable, and we don't want to dread this or hurt ourselves. So really paying attention to the level of practice you're showing up to what you're doing on a daily basis. Always keep it enjoyable. So this is something you'll do for the rest of your life. Maybe modifying as you go, but that you'll always want to be doing this. All right. So I believe that was 11 postures, and not all from the second series, and tree postures from the first series. So there was, and Shavasana's in all the series because it's such an important posture. Yes, no, there's not so many types of this block. There shouldn't be. This is like a trademark item. It's called 3-minute egg. And I know they're pretty pricey, maybe $30. A 3-minute egg. I don't think that there's others that have made this. I thought he had this patented. But anyway, 3-minute egg. But really what matters, Cindy, is the size. So they have bigger ones, and I've got really big ones. Let me just show you my super big egg. And it's just not quite as effective. I don't even know if he sells these still. I was at a conference when he was selling these, and I bought, like, look at this one. Here's my little egg. Here's my big egg. But I do this one. I think it's just kind of pretty intense, and I get much more. Yeah, it's just so hard to do this, because then where does your, I guess this is pretty good too. Yeah, I guess that's good because I feel all this here. But yeah, love his products. 3-minute egg. And it's a great, great product to get. Kathy, you're welcome. Not really, Kathy, but what I would say, I mean, yeah, if you're going to take in your suitcase, but I recommend traveling light. I only travel with a carry-on unless, I mean, for our Scotland trip, I'm going to have to bring a bigger bag because I've got some stuff that I'm bringing. But I've traveled, believe it or not, with a block. Put the dang block, not this one, but the square one, the rectangle one, in my bag. You know, that takes up a lot of space if you're doing a carry-on. So not really, Kathy, but honestly, blankets can do the trick. So if you do a block when you're, you know, in your normal life, and then in your travel life, you take you get a blanket where you are and you roll up the blanket can do wonders, or the pillows in the room or something. So Cindy, how was that for your shoulders? And Stevie, how was that for you? Yeah, that's a big egg, right? Oh, who's he for the egg? 3-minute egg is the name of the company. 3-minute egg yoga block. And I see here it says Namaste. So I don't know if there's been people knocking this off, but it's really, really great. Okay, yeah, because that's Svastisthasana side plank is a humdinger of a posture. That kind of does, I have to be careful with that one. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you feel good. We'll see what happens. But yeah, lots of bone building and muscle building today. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you. I'm back on Saturday for stress management. It's a little bit of an easier class, but more about functional healthy aging movement. So hopefully I'll see you there as well. All right. Goodbye.